Hi, everyone. So far we have covered our value for Christ-centeredness, evangelism, and discipleship. Now we have a mission at Every Nation to establish Christ-centered, Spirit-empowered, and socially responsible churches and campus ministries in every nation. And the reason this is our mission is because we are compelled by the love of God to make disciples of all nations so that everyone can know Him. Dr. Rice Brooks makes this strong statement. He says that the human right is to know God. And today we're talking about one of our core values for leadership. We believe that we cannot execute or walk in our vision and mission, or even our other values, without the strong influence of our value for leadership. Proverbs 11 verse 14 says this: "Without wise leadership, a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors." Matthew 28 verse 18 to 19 says this: Jesus came and told his disciples, "I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit." The Great Commission was not the Great Suggestion. This is the Great Commission that Jesus gives to the disciples. Now, a very important aspect of this passage is that it's not only a commissioning for discipling the individual. It is a commissioning for discipling nations. So as believers in our nation, we have been given a commission to lead our nation in discipleship. Every believer is a leader. Leadership is a calling for every Christ follower. John Maxwell says this, and so many great leaders agree with this. Me too. Leadership is influence. Whether we develop ourselves to use our influence for good is up to us, but we all have some form of influence that directly or indirectly impacts others, that causes others to directly or indirectly follow us. Because we are not called only to disciple the individual, but nations, our leadership at Every Nation needs to have a missional outward focus. We pursue leading in a way that would inspire our community to bring change. We have this word for us at Every Nation Faith City. It's in Isaiah 58. And you can go and read that whole chapter, but I'm just going to read here at verse 11 and 12. It says that in the Message translation, "You'll use the old rubble of the past lives to build anew. Rebuild the foundations from out of your past. You'll be known as those who can fix anything, restore old ruins, rebuild and renovate, make the community livable again." Key words here: restoring ancient ruins, making the community livable again, rebuilding the foundations. Those who can fix anything. Based on the context of this passage, and that's why I would encourage you, go and read this chapter. I want to say that our own intimacy and personal relationship with God is the foundation and outflow of our leadership that will accomplish these great things. Out of the context of this passage, these great things happen because of people who lead themselves and allow God to lead them. Good leadership starts with self-leadership. Leadership is about people and the communities where they live. Now, I said in a previous session that discipleship is relationship, and likewise, leadership is relationship. Leadership allows love to be the motivation. In John 3:16, it says that God so loved the world, and that word is agapod, the world. Agapo, which is a verb of choosing love, a love that is driven by the choice that it has made. Leadership seeks the prosperity of others. Leadership will forgo its personal rights for the gospel. Leadership provides a channel of hope. Now we say as Every Nation, because we're called to establish churches and campus ministries in every nation, we're committed to a culture of empowering leadership. We're intentionally multi-generational. We deliberately create opportunities and platforms to develop the next generation of leaders. We want to constantly be raising up leaders. So here's a couple of questions for you to reflect on in this session. First question: What did you learn about leadership in this session? Second one, where do you have direct or indirect influence? Third one, what is God calling you to apply or change in your life today? And then the fourth one, with who will you share what you have learned from God in this session?